Alright, y'all, welcome back to Final Boss Auto Hub. And today I just want to have a discussion about what's going on in the automotive world as of recently. And as of this week, I'm sure most of you might have heard that the Honda and Nissan merger talks pretty much collapsed. And I just want to have a discussion about what this actually means. Just to go through it a little bit, it's basically being reported that Nissan's $58 billion merger talks with Honda fell apart over Honda demands for Nissan to become a subsidiary. Basically deviating from the initial talks that they have and agreed on structure for a joint holding company. According to Moto One, they basically reported that Honda was adamant and would not resume negotiations unless Nissan agreed to become their subsidiary. It seems like Nissan feared this take it or leave it kind of deal would result in a loss of decision-making ability and kind of somewhat of a power struggle that would basically become and cause their brand to weaken under the Honda's management. Ultimately, Nissan decided to move on and just look for a different investor, basically to kind of help what's going on with their financial woes and issues and basically approaching bankruptcy. When you think about it, this is becoming a dire situation for Nissan, because if they don't find an investor within the next 12 to 14 months, they are estimating they will pretty much cut 9,000 jobs and reduce its global manufacturing capacity by 20%. That's big for any kind of big automotive manufacturer. This is crazy. I mean, just to get into it, like my opinion, I mean, some of you might have seen my previous videos, but if you didn't, I basically kind of predicted this issue. I predicted this very thing happening. Like I already stated that Honda is a very conservative company with their products, and they would pretty much kind of force Nissan into a direction that could casually kill the brand. Nissan has always been a little bit edgy, always on the sports side. They coined the four-door sports car. Like Nissan has always been on that edgier side, while Honda at one point was competing with Nissan and Toyota back in the days with the Acuras and stuff of that nature. But since then, maybe over the last 20 to 30 years, they kind of pulled back and became more conservative, almost like Lexus per se. And at this point, Honda wanted Nissan to be a subsidiary like how they have Acura. So basically you have the Honda brand and then you have Acura as their luxury brand, and they wanted Nissan under them as well. And I mean, I understand why they would want that, especially since Nissan is on a collision course with bankruptcy, and I could understand the other side with Nissan wanting to walk away because they've been their own company for a long time and making decisions and things of that nature, and don't want some of that power to escape them. I'm kind of torn. I mean, I understand both sides. On the other hand, Nissan is going to have to recognize that their value is not as the same as it used to be, and any kind of merger talks or things of this nature, they have to consider that the investors are going to want to have some sort of say with what they do with the brand, because their money is being pulled into it. You can't blame them. Like, you guys pretty much ran the company into the ground to some extent, and you can't expect any investor to come in and throw money at you and not have a little bit of say about what you do with the money and how you're going to actually repay them and make good on their investment. It's kind of crazy. Like, even now, Nissan at this point in time is still looking into EV. I'm trying to figure out where they're going with the brand, because it's not a problem looking into EV, but it seems like they're trying to go hard into EV. And it's kind of crazy because when most of the automotive world are kind of rolling back their EV programs, there's a lot of different manufacturers and companies and different brands that are pulling back from EV due to low sales and losing millions, and kind of retooling their money and their brand to focus more on combustible and hybrid engines. So the automotive world is slowly taking a turn, going back to, further develop the hybrid engines and combustible engines to meet emission standards, because that's what people want. And to produce EV cars, and just producing one car is super expensive. So with Nissan having this focus of trying to get into the EV and just going gung-ho with focusing on EV products, I think that's a bad decision. I feel like they need to go back in the boardroom and start looking at the trends, focus more on hybrid cars, focus on reliability, focus more on developing new combustible engines that are good, fast, reliable, and redesigning cars that people want. Shorten your lineup, come out with cars that people want, make them reliable, make them fast, make them edgy, make them desirable. And I think that will slowly, maybe over the 3, 4, 5, 6 year period, kind of dig you out of where you're at. Then if you want to create a different EV department and start developing more EV cars and start bringing them along here and there, I think that would be the better idea for Nissan to follow. At this point, I think who's ever at the helm of Nissan is furthering bringing the brand to its demise, to be honest with you guys. I don't know why they're focusing predominantly just trying to get back into EV races, but you need to focus on shortening your lineup, reinvesting into desirable cars, and just make people want your brand again, make it desirable. And I think that's going to be a hard thing for Nissan to do. And unfortunately, I think we might be heading towards the closing of another major brand. And I hope it's not, because I've been a Nissan fan, and I hope that's not the case. But I think that's where we're heading. I mean, it's not all bad at this point. At one point, there were tech companies looking to invest in Nissan, especially from America. So let's see if they can kind of get those companies re-engaged and see what can happen from there. But, we don't know. Maybe even Toyota. Toyota literally came out and said Nissan never even came to them. And Toyota has been shown to working with different brands. They done worked with Subaru, they done work with BMW. So who knows, Toyota may be very well open to working with Nissan. But I do think Nissan needs to consider, hey, I may have to take a back seat with some of these decisions that I normally would make because I am merging or being invested in by another manufacturer. And maybe they can work out some sort of structure in the contract where maybe after a while they can separate and go back to doing their thing, or creating a decent power structure where they can still have some power in the boardrooms. But I think that's where we're headed. Let's see. If anybody watching this video, just let me know what you think. Kind of want to debate this, what you think Nissan should do or what they shouldn't do. Do you think they're ever going to get out of this situation? Or do you think it's over for Nissan? I definitely would like to have a conversation about this with some other car heads and enthusiasts like myself and see what everybody else is thinking. But for now, that's it, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. I do have some more stuff coming out. Just look out for it. I told y'all I'm back. I'm doing my thing. And thank you for following. Final Boss out.